In this video, I'll show you, whoops, where did it go? I'll show you how I use this Grout Refresh product to clean up the grout lines in my bathroom. But I'm not sure if I recommend it, and I'll show you why. In these before and after shots, you can see it does make a big difference, but doesn't look so great up close. So I'll show you how this project went for me, which wasn't super smoothly, and I'll share with you the lessons I learned. And in case you're new here, my name is Dan, and I've loved to DIY and build things for as long as I can remember, and I hope the videos I make help you in your own projects. So let's get into this. In some places, my grout was missing a lot, so I've actually re-grouted some of this, and then that's why it looks a lot more white. And I was hoping it would color the rest of it, but as you can see, that didn't really work. Before I went this route, I did try cleaning the grout with regular household cleaners, vinegar, and even bleach. So when all that didn't work, I went out and bought these grout removal tools and was mentally preparing myself for going out and scraping the grout between all of these tiles. And my housemate said, why don't you just paint the grout? And sure enough, at the hardware store, there's a Grout Refresh product. So let's give this a try. And here's a close-up of the bottle, and it shows the alleged before and after effects of using this product. And it does come in a bunch of different colors. I just got pure white. So if you peel this label back, the instructions are inside, and they are very brief. So the first step says substrate must be clean and free of contaminants. So depending on how dirty your floor is already, you may want to take more measures, but I'm just going to give it a quick spray and wipe down with the towel. Especially since I recently cleaned the grout with so many products. The second step says shake well before using. And reading the safety label, it does say it's not hazardous, but it does say to wear suitable gloves and eye/face protection. And we have to cut this open, so I'm just going to use a pair of scissors. For the smooth tiles, we're using the early wash method. Within 5 minutes of application, wipe the tile and grout in the same direction as the grout line and with a folded paper towel or dry microfiber cloth. So let's start applying this. Nothing was coming out. Sure enough, there's a little seal on it with no easy tab to pull it off. I'm just gonna stab it with its own lid. There we go. And I'm already making a mess. All right, let's start applying it. This is kind of like doing a coloring book. It's kind of meditative and relaxing. Certainly better than trying to grind out the grout between each tile. Before we do the rest of the floor, let's give that 5 minutes, wipe it away, and see how it does. It actually says wipe it away within 5 minutes of application. So that sounds like you'd actually have to do it bit by bit like this. Otherwise, by the time you did this whole floor, easily 10-15 minutes could have passed. So let's wipe it away. This is my dry microfiber cloth. That doesn't seem to be having the effect I wanted. So let's give that area a little more time to soak in. Let's try and wipe away another small area. I feel like I paid $18 to wipe away a bunch of paint. Yeah, maybe it's way too thick and is not having a chance to dry in there. Okay, I think this is gonna do a lot better. The instructions aren't very clear. Well, let's try in this area. I think we should leave it a bit longer still. I think this could use a little bit more again. So I think it definitely has to be a lot thinner and it needs to sit there a lot longer. I'm gonna give it the 20 minutes from the other directions. It's been about 20 minutes now, so let's go over it with a microfiber cloth. You see this is a pain in the neck to get off now. It does come off, but oh wow, you have to scrub hard. This sucks. Wow. That's kind of embarrassing. So as I'm editing this video a couple days later, I see the instructions and I didn't realize when I switched from letting it sit for 5 to 20 to 25 minutes or the late wash method, I should have then misted the surface with some water and then wiped it away. And all I had in mind actually was the last step that said that you're not supposed to get the surface wet for 24 hours after application. So I might have made my life a lot harder. Let's see how the rest of this goes. Okay, well, mostly seems to be sticking on the grout and coming off the tile, but not everywhere. This is a lot of work to get it off. And I'm not even sure I like how it looks. And I'm pushing really hard to do that. I mean, from here, you can see that looks a lot better. And I don't think anybody looks at the bathroom floor that closely when they come in, unless they drop something. But really, if you get close, you can see it doesn't look that great. Some areas it looks pretty regular. It looks like it could just be a bit of a dirty white grout. But here, you know, it's a little bit patchy. There, some of it came off, so I'd have to do some touch-ups. But wow, scraping this stuff off is not easy. So I think I'm gonna keep going and see how it turns out. Now I'm gonna be a lot more careful with how much I put in the grout lines and try and get as little as possible on the tiles. Trying to clean some of it off. Hopefully this isn't as bad. All right, I have almost all the grout covered with the Grout Refresh product. And there's just a little bit behind the door that I couldn't reach yet. And as you can see, it's not very neat. I'm not looking forward to this next part of wiping off all that excess. You can see here, I'm actually using a Scotch-Brite pad instead of the microfiber towel. It's not fun. And it was much faster, but make sure to test it on a little hidden area of your tiles to make sure it doesn't scratch them. I think I'm done. So here's the floor after a few hours of work. And I think from this level, it looks okay. But if you go down, that's when it starts to not look so great. And there's even this spot here where it turned a bit green from the Scotch-Brite pad. Let's put some of this stuff back. That was a lot of work. My fingertips are really sore from scouring so hard against all the tiles. And that took me a few hours this evening to do. And as you can see, this isn't a very big bathroom. And I'm not really super pleased with the results. I mean, it looks good from when you're standing and not really looking at the floor. But maybe because I just did it, you know, I'm looking at it more closely. As with any project you do, you always notice all the flaws when you're working on it. But then when it's done, maybe you don't notice it the next day. It's the next day. I'm still noticing it. But yeah, not very impressed with the close-up view of it. And so I'm not sure I would really recommend this. Of course, it's a lot easier than redoing the grout entirely. So, I mean, I have to say it does work as kind of a quick fix, which this is sold as that for $18. So I'm happy it looks more white now. Just if you're coming in here and just washing your hands, going to the bathroom, you're probably really not going to pay attention. But overall, yeah, anytime I look down, I see all the spottiness and then the green patches from the Scotch-Brite pad. Yeah, mixed results on this one. So the main lesson I learned in this is that those instructions were not very clear at all, and this wasn't as straightforward as I thought. Next, I wouldn't have cut the nozzle on the bottle so far back. I would have left the hole smaller, and so it would come out more slowly. And then I probably also would use a paintbrush to try and spread it in the grout, and then hopefully not get so much on the tiles. The third lesson I learned is that when things don't go as expected, I should reread the instructions in their entirety. When I switched to the long wash method, I really wish I'd seen that I could have misted the surface with some water, let it stand for 5 minutes, and then try wiping it away. Finally, I think I picked the wrong color. I picked pure white, which has a cool blue tone to it, whereas I think I should have picked the color called eggshell, which I think would have been a bit warmer and matched the tiles a little bit better. So yeah, this project did not go as smoothly as I expected at all, but I hope that you have learned from my misadventures here. And if you're interested in tiling projects, then check out my video where I installed this backsplash for 130 bucks. Hey, I'm Dan, and my mom and I bought some land out in the countryside to build a house. And to help with that, we thought we should have a trailer. So why not renovate a 1949 Spartan manor? So if you want to see how these go, plus some other random DIY stuff, subscribe and follow along.